So I'm going to title this, something like lying to yourself to keep you going, but really I'm more talking about like just coming up with a narrative to keep yourself going. Um, and I don't know, for me personally, sometimes things that I would consider lies can kind of help, but I've I said in another video or two that I had feelings of not wanting to be alive, or suicidal ideations as young as like 9 years old. And um, my my life has been filled with pain, basically. And I'm not like, I live in the United States. Like, I understand that, I keep things in perspective. Even homeless people in this country are living a much, much better life than a large portion of the human race. But what I'm really, and even like comparing me to them, like I've never, neither me nor my family never had a whole lot of money, but I didn't like grow up in abject poverty. Um, but it's always been a struggle up here. The pain has always been up here. And, the shit I could, if I, if I put all the time together, I could probably count the number of years that I would consider myself happy on two hands. So yeah, going back to what I said before, it's just, my life has been filled with pain, and just being humans, like us humans we always want to ask why. I mean, it's a really common question about, um, you know, shit happens and people want to know why. People want an explanation. They want a reason. And, we don't, there isn't always a reason, but I think for me, sometimes it helps to come up with a narrative to give yourself a reason. And this is probably going to sound a little bit ridiculous, but um, sometimes I tell myself that reincarnation is real, and, you know, karma is real. And I mean, who knows? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I tell myself reincarnation is real, karma is real. In a past life, I was Adolf Hitler, Genghis Khan, Joseph Stalin, uh, you know, somebody like that. Vlad the Impaler. Pick your famous bad guy from, your high school history book. And, this life that I've been given this time around, that has been just filled with pain. And, I've made mistakes. I've talked about that a lot, but a lot of shit's happened to me that has been out of my control. Um, so I deserve this life as a punishment for, for my deeds in a past life. Um, you know, is it true? Who knows? But it's a way for me to answer those why questions of, you know, why, why was my, at 9 years old, Um, why was I born into a situation that led me to not want to be alive at 9 years old? Why did my mom die when I was 13 years old? Why did my first love commit suicide? Why have I not been able to figure out? Um, there's lots of things that haven't figured out at this point, that keep me from being happy. Uh, why did I have to have a son long before I was ready, despite the fact that I tried to take precautions? Why do, and it's kind of interesting when I think about it. It's almost like my brain was programmed. When I was playing t-ball, shoot, I must have been like 7 or 8 years old, maybe even younger. I remember I was on third base and somebody got a hit in the infield and I was running home. And it was like down the third base line or something, and I was running home, and somebody tagged me. Somebody got the ball and tagged me in the back, and the umpire didn't see it. And I touched home plate, and they counted it as a run. And then, for whatever reason, just my conscience kind of kicked in, and I spoke up, and I was like, "Oh no, he tagged me. Yeah, he got me." And then, and they were all, "Oh, thanks for being so honest," and blah blah blah. That's kind of how, like, and to this day, unless I'm like doing drugs, unless it has to do with drugs, for the most part, like, I'm a pretty honest person, and I really, really value just like being nice to people, and respect and all that, kind of to an extreme if you compare me to other people. And it's always been, I've always wondered, like, going back to what I said about telling myself that narrative that, I was this terrible, terrible, terrible person in a past life. And it's kind of interesting to think that, because maybe my soul feels guilty, and that's why I'm so overly nice, and have so much concern for, like, other people's feelings, and stuff like that. uh and I guess about the lie part, like, even, like, I think I said earlier, like, I try really hard. No, it was in a different video. Like, I put so much effort to just being nice and pleasant to people, and despite that, it still seems like most people kind of tolerate me. There are quite a few people that have, like, painfully fake smiles when, kind of in passing, when you kind of say hi and, like, "Hey, good morning," like, kind of thing, just to, like, coworkers and stuff. Like, a few coworkers come to mind. Um, and again, the why, like, what, I mean, not a whole lot hurts my feelings. It's very, very hard to hurt my feelings. But but that's one of the things that does. When someone can't give me a genuine, just, I mean, you don't have to be my friend, but, like, what the fuck reason have I given you to, to not be able to give me a genuine smile? And, like I said, we always want to ask why. And maybe that's why. Maybe it's just the universe punishing me. And maybe I deserve this. Maybe I was, you know, maybe I'm paying my dues with this life, and it's gonna get better, and it'll be different when this one's over. Like I said, is it true? Who knows? We don't know. We've yet to find out for sure what happens when our bodies die. I'm fascinated by the subject, and a few months back I made a video after I watched the video called After Death, which was pretty cool. It was about it was a lot of information about people that had near-death experiences, people that kind of died, their heart stopped on like the operating table kind of thing, and they had like these out-of-body experiences. And anyway, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but like I said, whatever it is that keeps you going through dark times, through these, whatever times you have where you have that question why, and it doesn't come with an answer. And sometimes there just is no answer. There is no way to get an answer for sure. If you're in that situation, sometimes you just need to find a narrative that can give you the strength to keep going. And, maybe if I keep going, one day it'll get better. That day might be in this life, maybe that day is after this life. I don't know. But if you're like me, some days are harder than others. And if you're in that same boat, then stay strong. Do what you have to do to be able to walk through life while keeping your head high and putting one foot in front of the other. And either one day it's going to get better, or one day it's going to all be over. One of those things for sure is going to happen. Well, I guess if it's true that there's a heaven and a hell, which isn't really what I believe, but I guess maybe things could get worse. But anyway, I hope whoever's watching this, I hope you have a beautiful day, or a beautiful afternoon, or a beautiful night. I hope this video helps at least one person to figure out what they have to do to muster the strength to keep pushing and keep moving forward, and keep your head held high. With that, I'll catch you on the next one.